Well, welcome to the orientation webinar session of the MIT GCLOG. My name is Jose Velasquez. I'm the director of the GCLOG program, and with me, my friend
Katie Date. I am the manager of corporate outreach for the Center for Transportation and Logistics, and I will be with you for all of your leadership and career development training, as well as with you for your online education.
All right. Well, so to start with the session, I would like also to introduce the GCLOG team that is also here with us and help for all this setup for this session, and he's been in touch with you during all the recruitment process. So first, if we go to the next slide, as you said, well, my name is Jose Velasquez. I'm in charge of the GCLOG program, and also I lead initiatives of the Center for Transportation and Logistics for Latin America. Katie Day, she's the manager of corporate outreach at the center. Well, Mark Colvin, if Mark, can you just come and show your handsome face? Okay, great. So Mark is the academic manager of the Scale Network. Also, Aaron is the project coordinator of the Master in Supply Chain Management program, and he's also helping Mark for all the administrative stuff of the GCLOG program. And both of them are going to be in the chat with you in case you have any questions or comments, and they're going to try to reply all these answers, and maybe some of them, they're going to be brought to us so that at the end of the session, we can spend some time answering your questions. Also with us, it's David Hidalgo. So I don't know if you can show the picture of David now, and also David, if you can, I mean, he's not with us here at the campus, but he's in Spain now in Zaragoza. And David, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, everyone. My name is David Hidalgo, and I'm currently doing the PhD program in Spain in CLC, the partner from MIT CTL, and hopefully I will be joining all of you for the July session. So see you there.
Thank you, David. So David is also an alumnus from the GCLOG program, a class of 2016, and is a senior teaching assistant. So many of you have been actually in touch with him during the whole process, and he's a great guy. So he's going to keep in touch with you until the end of all the experience. And also with us, so Dr. Sergio Caballero. Sergio.
He does smile.
Hi.
Even though he's not smiling in his
I'm Sergio Caballero, originally from Bolivia. So I'm a research engineer at MIT Center for Transportation and Logistics. Particularly, I work with a group that is called a MicroMaster program, and looking forward to meet you all guys.
Okay, thank you, Sergio. So Sergio is going to be with you, as I said in the email, working in the GCX online course that we will talk a little bit more later, and also doing the July seminar. And also, I would like to introduce Jimena Castañón. So Jimena, we can do it now? Okay, you will let me know later if we can do it, and she can just connect later. But Jimena, she was actually the winner of the MIT Scale Latin American Scholarship this past class.
And the president of the class.
And was, of course, the president of the class. And now it's a great person. She's been working very closely with us, also with the project of supply chain management for small firms, leading this initiative for many countries in Latin America. And she's going to be also with us during the July seminar, and now actually she was also accepted for the Master in Supply Chain Management here at MIT. So I'm sure that she can also share very interesting insights with you. And also I would like to introduce Sam Gordon, who is actually the mastermind of all this setup. So if something fails here in the communication, it's your fault.
If it gets messed up, it's me. But these people take good care of you.
Exactly. So you see it's looking with this face, inspiring to the sky. And last but not least, Matias Escuders. He cannot be with us now, but of the GCLOG class 2016 together with David Hidalgo, and actually he was the best student of the class. And he was a teaching assistant from the previous class. And this year he's going to be helping us with the GCX. Later we will comment a little bit more about that, but you can also contact him in case you have any questions or things that you would like to discuss with him. So the case of Matias, he's from Uruguay, Jimenez from Bolivia, and David is, I don't know, David, I think you are from Ecuador, but Colombian and Mexican as well. So he has like 3 different nationalities. Okay, so let's start with the session and discuss some of the things. And before starting, into a deeper level of discussion, we would like to share with you some of the overview of the program. So we will start by discussing a little bit what is the, let's say, the spirit of MIT as a university. As you know, it's considered one of the strongest universities in the world, and actually in the last 6 years, it's been ranked number one in the QS ranking. And part of the talents we have here at MIT is, of course, because of the students that work with us and also the faculty we have in general. But everything comes together with a philosophy that is actually in this logo of MIT, which is in Latin, mens et manus, which means how we bring the mind at hand, the knowledge into solving real problems for humanity. And this is just a fragment of the mission of the president. It says, we seek to develop in each member of the MIT community the ability and passion to work wisely, creatively, and effectively for the betterment of humankind. So our mission is to transform the world. And to do that, we, of course, do a lot of research. We also do a lot of teaching, and we have very interesting programs. And like this program of the GCLOG, which is designed, of course, to attend this market of Latin America and to work closely with those students that are the top students of the region, and with the idea of the objective that later you can come back to your country and transform that reality that we live in Latin America. So here is some of the examples actually with Jimena and also Rosana, previous students from the previous class, and both working and leading workshops with companies, small firms, to try to help them to improve the potential of survival, among many other things that we do here. But part of this philosophy is to work, of course, wisely, smartly, but at the same time with the objective of creating impact in the world. But I would like to start also commenting about the GCX Excellence of Supply Chain. And for this, since the mastermind is actually just next to me, Katie, if you can just discuss what is this first stage of the experience of the GCLOG program.
So you guys are very lucky. You get to do all of your pre-work online. Previous classes to last year had to read 9 or 10 chapters of a textbook. And so last year we decided to do a little experiment and take some of the content from the courses that Sergio is putting together for the MicroMasters and customize those into an experience just for the GCLOG students. So we're doing that again this year. We've expanded it a little bit for you. We're actually going to have 6 weeks of content. And this is really to help you guys get just an overview, just a real basic understanding of supply chain and all of the different fundamentals that you need before you come to campus, just because we want to make sure that you're all on the same page. It's also a great opportunity for you to start getting to know each other and start that collaborative spirit before you get to campus. We found last year that the students really knew each other pretty well before they got here because they were interacting with each other on a weekly basis. So like I said, we're going to kick off the course on May 22nd. That week is going to be really light for you. The goal of that week really is for you to sign up for the platform, get familiar with it, watch a few videos. During that week, the webinar. So we're going to have webinars every Friday at 3 o'clock. So for that week, we're just going to do a resume workshop. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Weeks after that, we'll have some guest speakers. So Chris Kaplis, who's the executive director of our center here, but also kind of a rock star in the MicroMasters program. Yeah, totally. He will be doing a special webinar with you guys. So during his week, he's going to spend some time with you on that Friday at 3 o'clock. So right now, pencil it in your calendars for every Friday to meet. This will give you an opportunity to work with us and ask questions, but also interact with each other, as well as we'll give you updates for the week as we go. All of these assignments that you're going to get during this process will be due every Sunday. So as you get in, you'll be able to play around a little bit more, but the basic format of it is videos, lessons, quick questions as you go just to check your understanding, and then you'll have graded assignments. The graded assignments are actually going to be a portion of your GCLOG grade. So they're very important. You want to do these on your own, no cheating, no collaborating with each other on this part. With these problems, I really want to know what you personally understand, because that'll help us figure out maybe where some of the gaps are before you come to campus so that we can address those so that you can get the most out of your session here. in July?
Yeah, well, no, just to comment that, well, keep in mind that many of you, of course, have experience, working experience, and actually know many of the topics that you may be studying during this GCX experience, in terms of procurement, in terms of supply chain, logistics, transportation, inventory management, etc. But the point here is that since you are coming from very different backgrounds as well, some of you are engineers, others are in business administration, others are actually in an MBA program, others in production, operations research, industrial engineering. The idea is how we can actually put together and make more homogeneous the class, so that when you come for the first seminar in July, you can actually take the best of the experience. All right? So you are going to have, and we will discuss this in a moment, but you're going to have the opportunity to be in lectures with best people in logistics and supply chain management in the world, right? Which is actually the case of Chris Kaplis. Just I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken, actually last year, but the same month, he was acknowledged with this award as one of the best professionals in logistics and supply chain management.
Right, by CSCMP.
Correct. So, but just keep this in mind. Of course, we are going to go a little bit slow with this, but we expect that you're going to work really hard in this. And this is going to be also one way to get to know you in the academic world. How do you work? How do you deliver? And make sure that these tasks are well conducted and fulfilled, and that you don't have any issues with the time zone and stuff like that. Make sure that you understand what we are saying. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out for us, TAs, and also Katie here or myself.
Great.
All right. So we go to the next slide, Katie.
So I mentioned during the first week, we'll be doing the webinar based around resumes. So I know that all of you are probably pros at your resume. You know what you're doing. You've applied to jobs. That's great. We're really excited to be able to bring all that experience here. What we do for all of the employers that come to campus during January is we put together all of the resumes, not only for the GCLOG students, the MIT students, but for all 6 centers throughout the world. So because of that, we want all the resumes to kind of look the same. So ahead of this webinar, I'll be sending you just a little template. You're not going to be able to fit your whole CV into this template. It's really just the highlights. We'll spend the hour on the webinar going through some tips, some things to highlight, some differences. There are differences between resumes that you present in Latin America versus resumes here in the US. I'll show you some funny different resumes that I've gotten throughout the years of different people and different things that they've put on their resumes, so that when you come in July, everyone will have a resume ready to go. And then while you're here during the July session, then we'll be able to really focus in on things like making that resume perfect, but also working on your LinkedIn profile and making sure that if you choose to apply for a different job after GCLOG, that you're best prepared for it, but also that you have a consistent resume that looks the same as all of your colleagues that go into this resume profile book.
Yes, so I know that we are not elaborating on the scale network, right? But because also we want to save some of these for the orientation session we will have the first day in the seminar in July. But in general, the scale stands for Supply Chain and Global Logistics Excellence, which is a network of the centers we have all over the world. And we are bringing students from Malaysia, from Zaragoza, and the idea, together with the students from MIT and yourself, to come and share in one of the seminars we will have in January. So we will talk about this in a moment, but the idea is we want to have a student profile book that looks consistent, and that's why the input of Katie in how to elaborate a great resume to position yourself better makes a lot of sense for this experience. Perfect. All right, so now
a little bit about July.
Yes, so July is as you know, is the first seminar. So we are going to start actually on Sunday, July 9th. And then, the GCLOG experience has like this GCX online course, 2 academic seminars, and then the capstone project. This first seminar, the idea is that because you are coming prepared with all the fundamentals of supply chain and logistics after the GCX, you are going to take full advantage of the most innovative research projects that are conducted by researchers and professors from MIT Center for Transportation and Logistics. And some of these topics are megacity logistics, sustainable supply chain, resilience and risk management, humanitarian logistics, behavioral operations, among many others. So imagine that you will get the opportunity to work closely with these professors and researchers, and they're going to share the new things they are doing in many parts of the world. And actually, this knowledge is so special because at MIT, at CTL, we don't have a special program in which we share all of this knowledge with any let's say, program like this master program or PhD program. So in this case, the GCLOG students are going to get only a tiny experience of 3 weeks, but it's going to be very intense. And in terms of the topics, it's going to be extremely novel and relevant. Right? So this is going to be the first seminar. So be prepared to come on a Sunday for the first orientation session, and then we will discuss a little bit later how it's going to look the rest of the schedule for the 3 weeks.
We're going to have fun, though, too. I mean, you make it seem so serious and so rigorous, but we're going to have some fun.
Well, we agree on that. So the idea is to have like the bad cop and the good cop. And yeah, but for sure, we are going to have fun. But first, you need to prove yourself that you are up to the challenge.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so second,
January.
So would you like to comment about the Scale Connect?
So January is one of my favorite months around here because not only do the GCLOG students come back to campus, but also all of the rest of the students from the Scale Network. So this coming up January, we'll probably have about 200 students.
Maybe a little bit more, right?
Maybe a little bit more here on campus for the month of January. We do all sorts of things during this month. So not only will you attend lectures with professors here from MIT, but professors from across the Scale Network will be teaching some different lectures on their different areas of research. We'll be doing lots of simulations, lots of group activities, so you won't just be able to stay with your GCLOG family. We're going to break you up, and you're going to have to be with some of the other students from the other centers. We also have industry speakers. So as I mentioned, a huge portion of my job here at CTL is to manage our 54 corporate partners. So we invite senior vice presidents and presidents of supply chain to come and spend time and speak with you. If you perform really well during the July session, you may be recognized as someone who can go and meet one-on-one with some of these executives. So it's a really great opportunity. And those 3 weeks culminate with what we call Research Expo. So this is, you'll see some of the pictures on the screen. This is an amazing event. So the media lab here at MIT is like primo space, super high tech. We're up on the 6th floor. You have a beautiful view of Boston, and the whole room is filled with screens. And so everyone throughout the Scale Network will present their different research projects that they've been working on. You guys are uniquely positioned because you're going to be further along in your projects than everyone else. You're going to have really, really great material to present to the corporate partners. What else would you add to that?
No, I was laughing. No, but it's interesting, this part, because of course the idea is that you're going to engage with the other students from different centers, from the Scale Network. But at the same time, you're going to also compete in this Research Expo to present your research project. So they are actually working in master thesis. In your case, you're going to be working on a capstone project that I will comment in a moment. But the idea is that you're going to present, I mean, if the quality permits, of course, we are assuming that all of you are going to do a great job. We will have you here in this expo. And as Katie mentioned, we bring a lot of these corporate partners that she manages, like P&G, Walmart, so these big companies, and as you know, well, the winners of this Research Expo get also an interview with the Wall Street Journal, and also get a lot of exposure among many other things. So maybe I should take advantage of this moment to comment also about the capstone project. So if we can go to the next slide, Sam, please. So, when the things that you present, the project that you present here in this expo is the capstone, right? And the capstone, well, it's mainly a research project, but it's not with the same scope as a master thesis. This is a little bit limited because we know that many of you are actually part-time students or also working, and it's not that simple to expect that after the July seminar, you're going to work on the capstone project like full-time. But still, we are MIT, so we demand a lot of quality and also hard work. You're going to be working with a researcher from MIT, which is really a great experience. So what we are going to do in this part is that the researchers from the center, we are going to provide some of the ideas of the projects that we conduct, in our labs or initiatives. For instance, as I said, sustainable logistics initiative, or freight lab, or humanitarian logistics humanitarian response lab, and among many others. But the idea is that these researchers present this topic, and then what you're going to do is you're going to rank based on preferences. What would you like to do? What would you like to do first? And then you will say, well, this is my first option, my second option, etc. What we are going to try to do is to actually do the matching based on the preferences, and also based on your profile with the project and the researcher. But those, and this is the important part, so pay close attention, those that are actually the top students in the GCX are going to get the chance to pick first. So you need to really perform well in the online course, so that later we are going to give you what you are expecting. The good news is that actually last year we got like 90% of all the students assigned to the first or second option, which is great. Actually, like 95% of the students, and only 1 or 2 got like not to work with that. But still, believe me, to get the chance to work with a researcher from MIT is a great experience. So you're not gonna regret to work hard and to give your best in all this experience, starting with the online course.
And you guys are very lucky, because a lot of the rest of the students throughout the Scale Network don't get this opportunity to work with an MIT professor. So you guys are very lucky. So take advantage of the opportunity and really do your best in the GCX, so you can make sure that you get the #1 choice.
Yeah, which, by the way, brings me to the next slide, Sam. This is also very interesting, because for the first time, actually, last year, we got the opportunity, to receive the winners of this research expo coming from the GCLOG program. So it's the first time actually that we are the winners of this, because the competition is really tough. But it's very nice, the students, apart from the fact of getting, all this great reputation and exposure, working in this project, by the way, with Eva Ponce, which is the executive director of the MicroMasters credential. Many of you may know her. And of course, I just wanted to show my face in the picture as a good narcissist with the red jacket. Like, well, we won, right? So I needed to show my face. But no, just to be serious, it was really a great time. So imagine this context environment that Katie just shared with you in this Media Lab building, and then the students receiving the award with also the greatest amount of $500. Coming also, I think, was not the APIC. No, I don't want to say APIC. It was the ISM. I'm sorry.
It's really important, because this is voted on by industry. This isn't like just the professors picking from who they think is the best. We have tons of people from industry, usually about 200 people from industry that come to this, and they vote on this award. So it's a big deal.
No, absolutely. And they're working on very interesting and innovative projects, like in this case, regarding omni-channel distribution, which is actually quite interesting. And you all are going to receive an interesting lecture given by Dr. Eva Ponce on that in July. All right, so now, well, these were like the great news. Now we are going to the better news, which is what we are going to discuss, the welcome packet that you are supposed to know very well. Hopefully you all read it. So we are going to go very fast just for the highlights of the welcome packet, and mainly with the things that are always causing a little bit of misunderstandings. And we are going to try to clarify.
If you haven't read it, now is not the time to go and read it. Listen now,
correct,
and then go back.
Exactly. No, but we know that people are students now, but they read it. I trust you guys, so don't put me down. Anyway, so we have now the visa requirement, and this is some of the questions. So of course, if you want to come here for a short program, which is the case of the GCLOG program, it's a certificate program, you need a visa, right? And you need either a B1 visa or equivalent, unless you are a US citizen. And with this, you are allowed to come. And what you do is you apply for the visa. So, well, we said no later than 60 days before arrival. But knowing that now we have a new administration in the US,
do it now.
Yeah, it might take a little bit longer. So just try to work on this as fast as you can, right?
Yes.
And don't forget to use the letter. I mean, the admission letter has this purpose, of course, to formally give you admission to the program, but at the same time, that works as a letter that you can take for the interview at the consulate. Okay?
Good. Next.
Am I missing something? No, right?
No, I think that's...
All right.
The main point is apply for it now.
All right. Second, the health insurance.
Yes.
So maybe you can comment on this,
Yeah.
Katie?
So I know this might be a little bit of a different foreign concept for all of you, but here in the US, we require, if you're going to travel here to MIT, that you submit proof to us of travel and medical insurance. So I know you're going to say to me, Katie, I have health insurance through my employer. Great, that's fantastic, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to transfer over to the US. So I really, really encourage you, go to the welcome packet, go to the website that we provided in there. We did it like shortly before this. It's really easy. You can go through, you just have to click in the different things, and then it'll spit out for you like 3 or 4 different options. It's really important that, like it says on the slide, the medical limit is not less than $500,000. The evacuation limit is not less than $250,000, and a deductible not greater than $100. This is really, really important. Healthcare costs in the US are very expensive. If you, for example, a couple of years ago, we had a student that stepped off the curb and she sprained her ankle and she had to go to the emergency room. If she would not have had health insurance to go to the emergency room, it would have been thousands and thousands of dollars, but she just had to pay her $100. So it's really important. I know you might be tempted, save a few dollars, do a deductible higher. Don't do it. Please, please, I'm begging you, don't do it. It's really expensive, and it's really, really important that you make sure that you send this information to us right away, because we're not going to let you come in July if you don't send it to us. So
this is very important. Let me just stress out that last part. You know, it is a requirement. It's mandatory for you to send this and submit this proof of travel and medical insurance before you can join to MIT, because this is very serious. It's about your health. And well, last year we didn't have any big issue about that, but still, we never know, and it's better to be prepared with this. So make sure that you're following all the requirements that are listed here and also are detailed in the welcome packet.
Right.
All right. So the next one is something that my friend Mark is going to be very happy about, is the housing. Right. So this always happens, and for some reason this is not moving on as we expect. So let's see if this year we can try to convince you even more about the importance of this housing and the opportunities options we are providing for you. So first, we are describing 4 options in the welcome packet. So I will start with the last option, which is option 4, and is I do whatever I want. I stay wherever I want in the commons. I don't care, right?
In a tent.
In a tent,
no,
you know.
Don't do that.
No, that is just a joke. But you can say, well, I will stay with my uncle, or I have family, or whatever. It's fine. It's your own decision. So what we are recommending is the residence in Boston Cambridge Hotel. You say, well, why? Well, the start that is there in the presentation is because we just want to make clear we don't have any conflict of interest here. We are trying to get something out of that. No, it's not like this. We only have a working relationship with them. And usually when we invite some of the speakers, or job applicants, they actually come and stay there. Right? So it's affordable. It's a walking distance to MIT campus, and also to the classroom that you're going to be also taking classes in July.
You get breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, you actually it's included, right? It's not a big deal. It's like American breakfast. I do not have very high expectations, right? But anyway, still you're gonna be taken care of there. And there are 3 options, of course. One is I reserve the room for myself. And if you can afford it, fine. Usually those that do something like this is because they bring, the significant other in the trip, which is fine. The second option is actually the one that we strongly recommend.
It's the most common.
It's the most common as well, but also it's comfortable. Right? Yeah. So what you do is you reserve a room with one of your classmates. It's more affordable. You split all the costs and responsibilities as well, and that's it, right? It's quite nice, and the prices and everything is in the welcome packet, so you can always go there and check for the details on this. But the third option is also to share this with 2 other students. So this is not an option that we encourage that much. But I guess in this option, the description is quite clear in the welcome packet, which means I guess you need to pay an extra and maybe to sleep in the couch or something like this.
I think they bring in a cot, and then we would recommend rotating. So maybe 1 week someone gets the bed, the next week someone gets the pull-out couch, the next week you sleep on the cot, and then you rotate just to make it kind of fair.
But you can always compare it based on the grades of the GCLOG. Right?
Yeah, anyway, that's fine too.
But we would like just to make it very clear. Every year, year after year, the students come and they say, is very expensive. And it's expensive because, guess what? Boston is expensive. And it's the summer, which is, by the way, one of the nicest seasons here. And then everybody is coming here, and then, of course, the prices go up. But then what has been happening consistently is that once you start working and you need to stay late and you need to start, commuting, things become very hard. And many of the students are actually struggling a lot during this part. So that's why we want to make it very clear. What happens usually is that we say, well, this is the option 2. You don't take it. You are here the first 3 days. And then once you are here, you say, can you change to the hotel room? And then
it's too late.
We cannot do it anymore.
Yeah, hotels book up really, really fast in Boston, and that's why it's important that you get your decision to Mark and RN as quickly as possible. A, because we want to be able to lock it in for you, but B, it's unfair to the hotel if we make them wait super long and then people don't want to take the hotel rooms. So we really want to keep this working relationship so that in January, when you come back, we can get you a preferred rate as well.
Yep.
Also, it's so close. I mean, there were so many people last year. I remember they thought that they were getting an Airbnb in Boston, but it was really in Dorchester or Roxbury or further out in Boston, and they're spending an hour on the T just to come in, and then you stay late, and then an hour back, or maybe the T is shut down, which maybe is a foreign concept for some of you guys, but our public transportation actually shuts down at midnight, which I know it's kind of lame, but still.
Sorry, this is an American talking, but actually the transportation systems are great compared to the ones that we know in Latin America. But anyway, no, it's a very good point. So just keep that in mind. It's your call, your own decision, but just we want to make it very clear to you that once you make a choice of not staying in this option of the hotel, it's final, and that's it, right? So we cannot do anything else. So what usually happens is that maybe just 10% of the class is going to stay in the hotel, maybe 20%, and then later in January, all of you are going to stay in this hotel once you know the advantages that those that stay in the hotel had during the July seminar.
It's fun, too, to everyone be in the same hotel, and you guys will be able to bond with each other. And
yeah, to study together. That's what we mean.
Yeah.
No beer. Study. All right. So now let's talk about the money. Yeah. So many of you were asking questions, sending some emails about this. But then the idea here is we have two options. So if you're already filling in the form, the Google form, then we know that you have picked either the single invoice or the two invoices option. So one is going to be issued just now in May, like in the next
couple
of weeks,
yeah.
maybe.
So
maybe
that'll come
next week.
from Nick Burns. He's
Correct.
our financial coordinator, I think,
Correct.
here in the center, and he'll send it out.
Yep.
Probably in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so just 2 comments on this. Payments are to be made. We have 3 options: international wire transfer, credit card, or check. And the option that we prefer is international wire transfer. All the information of the details how to do this payment are actually listed in the invoices that you're going to receive through Nick Burns. So let me just call out some of the names. So if you haven't filled in the Google form, which in other words is if one of your names is Roberto Russo, Daniel Calcinaro, Andre Junqueira, Mayra Chi Luisa, or Erwin Salas, if your name is one of these, then do it as soon as possible. And I know what you're going to say. I sent this information actually very recent to you, so don't worry, this is just a joke. I know that I sent that yes to many of you like a couple of days ago about the information session, so it's normal that you haven't filled in the form. But please do it just as soon as you are done with we are done with the information session, and we can receive also the details of these 2 options that you are going to have, and we can also officially accept you in the program.
One thing that we forgot to mention with the hotels is expect an email from Mark on Monday with the Google document to select your hotel. So take the weekend, think about what you want to do for your hotel, use the Facebook group to talk to each other, maybe figure out roommates, and then please, when you get the Google Doc from Mark on Monday, fill it in as soon as you can. That way you won't forget.
Great. You want to comment anything else, Mark? No? We're fine. Okay, she got it. Good. All right, so let's just take a look at the first seminar. Yeah. Correct. So one of the things that I commented already is the experience of being taught by the world's foremost thinkers in supply chain management and logistics in the world, right? And here is a picture of the experience of having Professor Yossi Sheffi, which is considered by many one of the strongest experts in the world in this field. So he has a variety of books, has more like than 4,000 citations in the work that he conducts in different topics: risk, supply chain risk management, resilience, optimization, procurement, sustainability, and many other things. Right? So it's going to be a great experience for you, but we'll comment more on this. But this is just to show you some snapshots of how it's experienced. But for sure, also, we are going to have great experience with team building.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to take you to an island. Actually, Mark is leading that experience. And we're going to work in teams, try to share also some time outside of the MIT environment so that you can get also some suntan. Although we know that Latins, we don't get that so often, or maybe we have the bronze skin already. But it's great experience. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy it, and we're going to be there with you. Also, they're taking pictures, but at the same time enjoying and having the experience. Yeah, also with you in this part. So this is going to be part of living the MIT experience. So let me just encourage you. You are coming from the best universities in Latin America. You are top student from Latin America, and we expect from you that you behave accordingly. Yeah. Right. So we expect you to work hard, to be on time, to enjoy, to come prepared, and also to show and live the whole MIT experience, which is many of the things that I'm just commenting in this part. So anyway, I will not spoil it. Let me just show to you how it looks the first, second, and third week during the July seminar. So we can go to the next slide, Sam, just very briefly. So here we will start. Remember, the first session, the orientation session, is actually in July 9th. So it's on Sunday. So I will stress out that at the end of the information session. But just to show you the experience in the academic content. So we will start that Monday having the beer game. This is, remember, as you know, it's not with real beer. It's just the product of the beer. So don't get excited. And actually,
we're not going to drink beer at 8:30 in the morning, guys.
No, we cannot do it. We're going to do it. And we will have also some discussions about the debrief of this game and what are the key learnings. But this is just actually to put you together in the context of supply chain management, right, and also to discuss some of these general ideas that will bring also with the rest of the experience. So after this, we also will have the opportunity to host Professor Jan Francois. This professor is also considered one of the strongest experts in the world in operations management and logistics. And he's coming from the Netherlands. And he's going to be working with you, particularly in this week, with a case study, regarding the mobile technology for the retail channel, traditional channel in Latin America. So we're going to have an interesting session, actually the first day, and you're gonna be given a task that actually is going to come prior to the experience, of July seminar. So we will talk about this later, because we're going to have these webinars and these sessions, during this in July. And in one of these sessions, we will send a whole description about this project. And the idea is that you're going to, of course, get the mentoring and the knowledge of these lectures with the Professor Jan Francois. And also, we are going to have some training on entrepreneurship, in terms of business model and how to translate the knowledge of these entrepreneurship concepts into the supply chain management world. So we are inviting actually the former managing director of the Entrepreneurship Center at MIT, and he's going to be going with you in different moments during this time, during for instance, in Wednesday with the pitching of the product, and also on Friday the whole morning, to prepare you also to work on this, so that in the afternoon you are going to come and present your solution of the project, but at the same time, hopefully, some mock-ups and ideas of how we can actually work on this mobile technology in traditional channel. But anyway, so we will have all of this. We will have the next day the Thompson Island experience, and we will comment more details later. We will have also concepts on behavioral operations, data analytics by the Megacity Logistics Lab, Daniel Merchant, which is a PhD candidate, then Matthias Winkenbach, Dr. Matthias Winkenbach, who is the director of the Megacity Logistics Lab. And we will have also Jim Rice. So actually, Jim Rice was one of the best lecturers last year, and was, how can I say, almost like the godfather of this class, of the previous class. And he actually said some words during the graduation ceremony. He's a great guy, and he's the deputy director of the Center for Transportation and Logistics. So
he's very famous for his socks. So when you come, make sure you look at his socks.
We'll see what we are talking about. So we actually learn a lot, and we also enjoy all these experiences and adventures. So we can go now to the second week. In the second week, we will have very fast on Monday the portrait session. So Remember, in that session, you need to come
Bring your suit.
At your best, yeah, dress, suit, gown, everything. And yeah, because we're going to use this picture later also for the poster presentation, for the profile book, and for any official website or material that we're going to post. So it's important that you come very, very handsome and pretty as well on these pictures. And then we will have later the director of the Center for Latin American Logistics Innovation, Isabela Gudelo, discussing also the challenges in logistics in Latin America. So it's actually very interesting. But we'll have, as we said before, the omnichannel distribution by Dr. Eva Ponce. You will have the best lecture ever in the world, which is sustainable supply chain management. I'll do yours actually, yeah, it's on Wednesday. So I'm going to be teaching you some of the things that I teach actually in the course here at MIT, sustainable supply chain management. And then later with Katie, you will have the best lecture, which is leadership. So I don't know if you want to comment some of the things you're going to be doing there.
Sure. So the key to it is knowing myself. So in the first week, you will do a little bit of a personality test, and then we'll learn a little bit about ourselves. And then more importantly, we'll learn how to take those skills and work with each other and learn how to run a meeting and relate with each other and negotiate, all those important things you need to do out in the real world.
Great. Excellent. And then later, after the leadership session, we will have Sergio Caballero, which is the toughest non-smiling guy ever in the center. So
Thank you.
he's going to be with you in mathematical models. So you know, many people, they struggle and suffer, but you cannot come to MIT and expect not to take something very analytical, right? So this is part of our strengths as well. And then later, Thursday, Friday, we will have some sessions on system dynamics. And then again, we will come back with Jim Rice. Before was the Walmart case study. Now we will have Apple case study. And on Thursday, and then we will have sessions to discuss also the capstone project. So we will elaborate on this later. But the idea is that you can take some time to meet also with your advisors and scope the project that you're going to be working on. But then on Friday, this is also something new. Last year actually we were pushing everybody very hard, and actually 2 years ago even more. So I'm sure that David and Jimena can remember those times in which they were actually staying almost in the lab, sleeping overnight to work there. And but now we are also dedicating some time for you to work, not to work only, but to enjoy.
To see Boston.
Yes, to see Boston, to see Cambridge, to have also a tour for MIT, to understand also why we call it the Infinite Corridor, why the Dome, what are the hacks we have, and all these interesting things that we have in the culture of MIT. And then later, when you are done with this, you may have, if you are working very hard, you may have permission to go for a beer. All right, so now we go to the third week. And then the third week, we will have a midterm exam. This is just to guarantee that you will not get crazy during the week. Nah, this is just a joke. Mm-hmm. Now, just to make sure that you are really getting the best out of the experience, and this is just going to be a stop moment. And then you're going to take this exam, you're going to feel better, you're going to understand, you're going to share. And after that, it comes an interesting session. So, yeah, Professor Sheffi can teach almost anything. And so far, we have him teaching procurement strategy. We will see if actually this is the course that we want him to teach, because maybe he can discuss many of the implications of these new situations or disruptions we are having in terms of political issues, Brexit and President Trump, and what are the implications of NAFTA and other type of deals, and how this is going to affect the way that we operate global supply chains.
Right.
So we may convince him to talk something about this, or maybe about his new book. So we'll see. But this is going to be a great opportunity for you to enjoy. And this reminds me, not just for the session of Professor Sheffi, but also make sure that you come very well prepared for each of the sessions. Right? So we will have as TA Jimena, and Jimena knows how to push. So she's going to try to find different ways to articulate an interesting experience for you, and to have some of the requirements so that you can come better prepared for each of these lectures in July. Yeah. But anyway, so later we will have humanitarian logistics, and it's a very interesting topic, because apart from the fact we have this lab here that is led by Dr. Jared Gensel. Actually, MIT is one of the pioneers. It's the pioneer in the world about this topic in humanitarian logistics, like six years ago, and how disasters and the floods, for instance, that my friends from Peru are having, or the earthquakes in Ecuador or other parts, are actually affecting well, of course, the population, and how you should operate your supply chain to give opportunities to bring medicines or to bring food or supplies, and how to operate this in a better way. So they are actually managing interesting projects, very interesting projects in Africa and many other parts.
Right. Well, so when they had the Ebola crisis in Africa like a year ago, Jared was the one that they called up to procure and charter a plane of supplies over to the affected areas. So these professors that are speaking to you are very, very connected to industry and very practical. They're not going to talk to you from like some high up soapbox. It's real world what they're going to be talking to you about. And specifically with the humanitarian, they're out in the field and they're really, really doing things that are creating impacts. And that's what we want you guys all to go out and do.
Exactly. And then next day, on Tuesday morning, we will have Dr. Bruce Artson. So he's the director of the Master in Supply Chain Management at MIT. And he's also an expert on global logistics and risk management. So he's going to be teaching these two courses after a break. So it's going to be also interesting to have Bruce with you guys. And then the next 2 days, we will have a very strong expert on S&OP, which is Larry Lapid. He will come to work with you, the management S&OP, and you will also see an interesting experience because he's going to make you to present and interact with the group, and he's going to give you a little bit of hard time. Yeah. This is also part of the experience. Then later we will have finance and supply chain management with also Jim Rice. And then the PhD candidate, Lita Das, she's going to come and talk also about the project that she's been working for the last, 3-4 years? Maybe
4 years, more.
Yeah, with the Starbucks regarding the back office of inventory. And it's going to be interesting. So it's very important that for this topic, you come also very well prepared with the inventory management pre-courses that we will have in the GCX.
In the GCX, yeah.
Correct. And then finally on Friday, we will have the final exam. And then here is a cumulative exam, and the person that is going to be in charge of this is going to be Sergio Caballero and Jimena Castañón. So make sure that you understand what they want to do, because they just enjoy making people suffer. I just did it. This is just a joke. It's part of the experience. But no, the idea is, to test and to make sure that you are getting the best of the experience, right? And then later, that's why we have the Scream after that.
You're talking about suffering and then
yeah, exactly. But there's no relationship. The Scream is actually a resilience game in risk management. And we will have also a PhD candidate coming here with you to work on this simulation, which is some sort of the beer game from CTL, in which we work with some disruptions and how you can better prepare inventory policies, or different also inventory policies, but also the other type of policies in terms of capacity, in case you have disruptions in the supply chain. And then at the end, of course, we will have the capstone session, just to make sure that you meet with your advisors and you have a plan to work with them until January next year. You're going to be presenting in the Research Expo. And then we will have a farewell social. So actually, I didn't comment this in the first day, but we will have also farewell, a welcome social. The farewell, not the first day. We'll have a welcome social. And we will invite you also some beer and drinks to welcome you also with some of the researchers. You're going to get the chance to talk to many of these professors, researchers are going to be there with you. And this Friday is the farewell. So we will be with you. We'll try to take you to a very nice place. So Mark is in charge of that. And he's looking for the best place, most expensive one. This is just a joke. Save some money, Mark. But we're gonna enjoy this experience. All right, spend it. Very good. So
just a reminder, if you're having questions while we're talking, please make sure that you're feeding those to Arne and Mark. I don't know if people have been asking
in the chat. Yeah. I know that David has been answering some of the questions.
Okay,
good, David. Go ahead. And okay, so now just the final instructions prior to arrival. So 7 things. 1, payment. Right, this should be done before the GCX, which means no later than May 22nd.
Right.
Housing decision. So Mark, when is the deadline?
May 23rd.
May 23rd. So 1 day after that. 2 photos. You need to send 2 photos, right? So the instructions are in the welcome packet. So I will not elaborate on this now, but you need to send 2 photos.
And do that sooner rather than later, because we need to order your IDs. So
exactly.
The formal passport photo, that's what's going to go on your ID. So it's very, very important that you follow the instructions that we put.
Passport type photo.
Yes.
Right? It's not the
Not
picture of
yeah.
the passport. I just want to make
your
it very
passport.
clear. Yeah. All right. So the health insurance. This is very important to send this to David, and David actually is the greatest expert on this part, so he can answer all the questions you may have on this. Online course.
So
May 22nd.
Yep, starts May 22nd, but I'll be sending you the links to sign up for the platform ahead of time. If you have already taken the MicroMasters courses or the SCX courses, this is going to be a separate registration. You have to re-register. This is a different platform. And just as a reminder, don't come to me and say, Katie, I've taken SC1X, SC2X. I'm not going to take this. You still have to go through the GCX. Sorry, guys.
Okay, and let me just comment on the time that they should allocate to work on this.
Oh, yes.
Because it looks like a lot of time, and it's not a lot of time. So, Katie.
So last year we found on average people were spending about 6 hours. Maybe some people in the beginning took about 8 hours. Mm-hmm. We'll send out a packet on the GCX that's a separate syllabus, and in there it recommends going to the Khan Academy if you haven't taken math in a while, just to update yourself on some of the different areas of math.
All right, excellent. So Sergio says that this could go up to 10 hours.
12 hours?
Come on.
20 hours?
The first 2 weeks. SC2X.
Okay. Yeah, so just to make it very clear, this is not the MicroMasters. Right? So those that are in the MicroMasters is different load. So we are designing this to be, pre-courses. So we are taking some modules from different lectures, but this is a customized course, right? So it doesn't translate exactly to the same type of load that you had before.
Right.
So you will let us know later in a survey we will run with you at the end of the experience. But in general, the students spend between 6 and 8 hours. Yeah, per week. All right. Resume webinar.
So that will happen on May 26th. I'll send you details and some instructions ahead of time, but please make sure to save that date in your calendar, because we'll go through a lecture that we used to do here on campus, but we decided after some bumps in the road last year that it's better to do it before you come to campus and then really hone things in once you're here.
Okay, sounds good. And then last part, welcome and orientation session. Once you are here, we will have it on Sunday from 1:15 p.m. to 4:45 p.m. Okay, and it's going to be actually in the facilities here in the center, which is 1 Main Street, 9th floor, Cambridge, Massachusetts. So we will send some instructions also on this to make sure that everybody knows where we are. And once you are here, we will give you your ID card, and we will give you some instructions and other things that are really relevant so that you can start on Monday and really enjoy the experience of the first seminar. Once you are here for the first 3 days, you're going to feel at home. And believe me, MIT is going to be one of the greatest experiences for you in your life. All right, so with that, we are done, right? So we have now, let me just show the last slide. Yeah, we have a picture of Ceci Salum from Argentina. So we're going to have pictures like this from each and every one of you during July seminar. But this is just in case also you want to send some of the questions. We will try to answer some of them if we have, right? If we don't have and we are just speaking too fast or whatever, and then later you are coming up with some ideas or questions that you may have, you can just send an email to gclog@mit.edu. Or the emails that I just presented before. We will share with you these slides so that you can go and check either with Aaron or with David, with Sergio, with Katie, with me, with Mark, and with Jimena, and even with Sam, if you just want to say hi to Sam. Anyway, so that would be all.
I think that's it. I don't think anyone has any questions.
Is there any questions? Aaron?
I think David
no questions?
David is so good.
Yeah, hard to believe. All right.
All right.
No questions?
Yeah.
No.
Well, with that, we say goodbye to you for now. We'll be in contact a lot, and we look forward to seeing you all in person really soon. Yeah,
take care, and let us know if you have any questions. Bye.
Bye. Have a good weekend.